Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make my Fresh as a Daisy panel card. So I've made panel cards before, but I've always kind of made them symmetrical with the same panels, same size panels, but this time I just switched it up and my measurements are a bit odd, but it works. So just go with me on this one. Honestly, I'm kind of a bit baffled as to why I've done them like that, but it just looks okay, so just go with me, like I say. So I'm using the Fresh as a Daisy designer series paper here, and it's this lovely one here. I think it's got quite a retro feel about it. Somebody said to me it looks quite 50s. I think there was a picture with a lady with really dark hair with this kind of paper behind. I've got it in my head, but I can't quite think exactly what that's called. And then I'm using this sentiment here, wishing you the brightest birthday. And in the catalogue, when you've got this shape around, it shows you which one's cut out with the dies, and it's this, am I still in this little die here, and then also this leaf and the die that goes with that. So you could do this with so many different papers. It's a really easy one to do, and it's great if you've got a scene or something. It's a really nice way to do this card. So I'll show you the supplies, really not many. So this is a thick basic white card base, and this measures 5 3/4 by the width of A4. So I'm in the UK, we use A4, but obviously adjust your panels slightly lengthways if you use different size cardstock. You need a piece of designer series paper, and this measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/16. Really sorry about that, but if you have a trimmer, it's this little teeny tiny line here just straight after the number 5. Okay, you might want to figure it out and do some different measurements. That's absolutely fine. And then you need 3 pieces of Tahitian Tide cardstock. Now that isn't actually in these papers, but I thought it matched really well with this little piece here. So you need one that measures 4 inches by 2 5/8, one that measures 4 inches by 1 11/16, sorry, and one that measures 4 by 1 1/8. Okay, so, and then you need a couple of scraps of basic white and Tahitian Tide to do your little labels here and to stamp the leaves. Leaves. What am I thinking? I'm going to show you how to cut this paper to coincide with these layers here. So that's how it goes. I've got the little kind of skinnier one on this side, then the biggest, and then the medium sized one here. And actually what I did when I was making this card is to put these on first and get a bit of a gauge as to where you want to go with these. So let's put that to one side. I'll show you how to cut this paper here. So have it whichever way up it should be. The first cut is at 1 inch here. You can spin it round and do it on this side, but it's the left hand piece that needs to be cut at 1 inch. Okay, so that's your first. This is going to go on this panel on the left. Then you need to slide this along and cut it at 2 1/2 inches. And then you will be left with this really odd measurement here, which is 1 9/16. Handy, I know. Sorry about that again. I'll stop apologizing now because you'll either want to make it or you won't. Okay, so like I said, have a little play here to see roughly the spacing on here. And what I did was I stuck the 2 end ones on first, so that whatever happens, your spacing in the middle will be the same ish, so to other people it will look like it's meant to be. But my aim was to get about 1/8 of an inch border on these 3, that one, this one, sides here. Oops, I've got glue on me now. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same at this end with this medium-sized piece. You could mix up these panels and put them in a different order. This is just how I wanted to do mine. Or you can make them all the same size and just work out there. I have got an older video that I've done that on, so look back through if you want to have them all the same size, and then this one will just slot in the middle, and you can, you know, make it the right size then. So that's my little tip for putting these on. You can of course put your designer series paper on, but I feel if this bit doesn't quite go right, you haven't wasted your paper, you've just wasted a little bit of cardstock, which you've probably got more of, and you might not have more paper. So I preferred to do it this way. I'm just going to hold it up so I can see if it's pretty much level. This is my preferred way to do it. Okay, so then you'll be able to see really easily which ones of these go where, and just make sure you've got your pattern still lined up. You know, you don't want suddenly one spun around and it doesn't follow suit. I've got glue on me, that's why that's sticking to me. So then go ahead and attach these layers. Like I said, it's a really quick and easy card, and looks great with so many papers. So there will be a small border as always all the way around here. That looks about right. With my classes this month, I needed a card at the end that was less kind of complex, because the first card I did, and it'll be a video that's also on there, using the Lazy Days stamp set and dies. That was a bit more involved, so I have to adjust accordingly so that we don't run over in the class. So sometimes they're more complex and sometimes they're more simple, just to balance out. Plus I think it's nice to, you know, give an idea on both different styles, you know, different levels of complexity. There we go. So that one needs to come down a little bit and across a bit. Ooh, there we go. Cute. So I love the way it just frames it all, but it's all still in its pattern. Right, so let's go ahead and cut. So this was a really good, oops, not my light then, come back in. This was a really good little die in the daisy set here, and it's got the little stitching on here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one in basic white and one in Tahitian Tide. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got them here. And while I'm just doing the die cutting, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the leaves. So let's get this bit of scrap. Whoops, I'm stuck to something here, aren't I? Can't see, but there we go, it's there. Let's try and avoid that little piece. So I'm going to stamp the leaves in Pretty Peacock, which is this colour here. And I've stamped one, just stamping the colour, and then stamped again without re-inking it. So it's called stamping off. So you get a different shade of the same colour. So ink up the leaf. And then, so we're going to stamp once. Oh, that wasn't a good one, Tracy. Come on. Stamp once. And then stamp again without re-inking. And you get the two different shades. So that's a really nice way to kind of get different colours in your set of inks without having to buy loads and loads. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just tend to pin my dies in place with a bit of washi tape. You could do it with a post-it as well, just to make sure they don't jump around. So let's have a look at building this up now. So we're going to stamp on the white one here with Tahitian Tide, and I've already mounted up the sentiment here. Such a lovely bright colour. I think it looks very much like one we used to have called Tempting Turquoise. So I'm not going to get my head in, but I'm just going to try and get that straight. Yay. Smudged it a little bit there, but we won't worry about that. Actually, I do have a spare here. I think I will worry about that. It's going to annoy me. Oh, let's go again. Maybe I'll bring my head in a bit more. Bring it down to me a bit more. I'm going to go with whichever looks best. Gosh, I nearly smudged it again. Right, better. Okay, so just a little tip for you here. To get this either side, I've just cut this one in half. So you can either eyeball it and cut it just, you know, freehand, or you can just line it up in the middle of where your little, am I in the shot here? Where your little groove is on your trimmer, and just This is the scoring one, just get that out of the way. And just slice it up the middle there to get an even edge. But either way's fine. So run a little bit of glue along here, and just bear in mind to stick the right side on here, because it's tempting to, oh, come on, it's tempting to stick this like kind of flat down. It's happened a couple of times in my classes, so just put the right side up, and all I did was kind of line up so that you saw a little bit of the stitching at the top and the bottom. So again, don't flip it over like I was just going to then, and do a little line of glue on this blue piece here, and then you know you're not going too far. So again, this one just is going to slide. Oops. Oh. Oh, Tracy, come on. Do you know it's a bit late here, and I'm not making excuses really. This could happen at any time of the day, but yeah, that's going to be my reasoning for being a bit clumsy tonight. Okay, so about there. So I just wanted to see that little bit of stitching either side. Okay, I'm all gluey now. So to get my little swirls of gold here, I've got the gold twine. This comes in a 2-pack in the catalogue, Elegant Trim. I think it's called Elegant, Simply Elegant Trim. So you're going to need about 10 inches of that. And that just gives you, you know, enough to play with to make these little loops. So 10 inches. Not everyone likes doing these, but just, you know, if you do like them, persevere, because it does make them look really nice afterwards. Okay, so we get a glue dot, and you want to put it underneath this here, but about here. So I'm looking at putting the glue dot up here. You can put it on the card if you want, but actually it's easier to do it this way. So take a glue dot. So I want it pretty much behind that S, maybe there. So about here. And then put one end of your twine on the glue dot, kind of facing out one way or the other. And then you're just going to loop it back on itself onto the glue dot. And then this will fight you a little bit, so it will go one way or the other. It will have a mind of its own. If it's too difficult, snip it there and just start again. But I'm hoping I can just loop it around again. Let's have a look. So you're looking to do some different size loops here. That wasn't playing ball. Oh, come on. I'm going to put another glue dot down because it's not wanting to stay where I want to put it. This will all be hidden, of course, on the back, so nobody will see this lovely little mess going on behind. And then this one looks like it wants to go that way. That's fine. I'm going to let it go because that's what it's wanting to do. And then I'm just going to make sure this doesn't show underneath. Let's have a look. Oh, I wanted it to go this way. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen, because that's where I want it to go. Just use more glue dots if it's not liking where you're putting it. So I want it to come out this end. Let's twist it around this way. I'm going to go with this in a second. There we go. I've kind of forced it to be where I want it to be. And then on the back of here, pop some dimensionals. I've just put them kind of down the middle. In fact, I'm going to pin that down a bit because it's being naughty. There we go. Now try and move. Oh, I've pinned it where I didn't want it. Sorry, this is not turning out to be my best video. I'm aware of this. That's fine. I'll pin it in place in a sec. I know I'm making this look really easy. You don't have to put the loops on if they're stressing you out. Okay, so backing's off of here. And I've just put this at, I know I shouldn't be too worried about this, but it is bothering me. I just put this at a bit of an angle here. There we go, that's better. Now it's flattened down. And then with your leaves, all I did was I stuck them together first, actually. Can't pick this one up. Just offset slightly like this. So just a tiny bit of glue on this darker one here. And then offset the lighter one. And then the two of them, I've just put a little bit of glue at the bottom here. And that's going to just slide in under there. Just poking out the top. And then finally, we're just going to pop a couple of, where have I got them here? In colour. Might need to even that up. I think I've stuck that down with the leaf. There we go. In colour enamel dots. I'm just going to, on this one I used the wild wheat, not my fave, I have to say, but this time I'm going to use the copper because it's in the paper here. I think I couldn't find my dots when I did it, but also I thought I'd hide in with that. But you could put a couple on, you could scatter them around, but there we go. I hope you've enjoyed making my Fresh as a Daisy panel card. Take care, see you soon, bye.